My question is, I have 3 little girls, 6, 4, and 2, and I'm wanting to know about manifesting what you want, because I'd really like to have the contrast of an experience of a little boy, and I thought I'd manifested that the last time around, but I didn't. But she's kind of like a little boy in a girl's form, so I'm getting closer. But how, is that? Is that something that you, because my experience of pregnancy and childbirth and all that, it all feels very out of your control, like whether you get a good pregnancy, a bad pregnancy, all that feels like it just kind of happens to you, but obviously it's still part of your manifestation. So can you manifest the child?
So which is it? So which is it? Is it out of your control? Is everything out of your control?
No, it's not, but it does, it's mysterious in that sense that it doesn't feel, you know, sometimes it doesn't feel like if you choose to have morning sickness or not morning sickness, or great pregnancy or an easy baby or a hard baby. It doesn't; those don't feel like your choices, but they must be in some sense.
A lot of people, in every sense, a lot of people say to us similar things, and it comes from a vantage point of living something less than what is wanted, and then coming to the conclusion there must be other factors, because I know I wouldn't do this to me. If I create my own reality, I promise you, Abraham, I would not create morning sickness. So someone else must be doing it. There must be some other factor. And it's easy to accept that there's another factor, because everybody complains about morning sickness. And so it must be something, Abraham, that is outside of law of attraction. You just need to admit that morning sickness is outside of law of attraction. Just that one thing. Oh, and then the fact that I only get girls when I really want a boy. Those 2 things are the 2 things that are outside of law of attraction. Let me think, is there anything else?
Sure there is.
Jerry would say breakfast. Breakfast is outside law of attraction. It's the one thing that defies law of attraction. And what we want to say to you cannot have it both ways. In other words, you are the creator of your own reality. But what does happen is people let reality train their expectation. And then your expectation brings back to you what you've come to expect. So it's a fine line, isn't it? Because you exist as humans, as a mass consciousness of humans, and you observe in your socialization similarities that are happening. In other words, people aren't growing arms back that have been amputated, and people aren't having incredible growth spurts just because they want to, as a general rule. As a general rule, and you're just full of all of that, aren't you? In other words, you have a lot of evidence of your inability to create as you want to. And so we get how people let life train their expectation. But when you come to a decision, and usually it comes from strong wanting, when you come to a decision that you are going to train your expectation, that you're no longer going to let the norm or reality, that really is the strongest message that we are moving into as we're having these conversations with so many of you. When we say to you that now reality is old news, and that if you could get over your what is-itis, you could move so much more quickly as individuals or as mass consciousness, humanity, into improved life experiences. But you tend to be so enamored by the what isness of what is that you keep letting what is control your vibration. Now, a good example is a woman, a couple who is having a hard time conceiving. They want a baby, but she can't get pregnant. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. They want a baby. They want a baby so much it hurts. Now hear those words. They're in pain. They're in pain over the absence of baby. Absence of baby. Absence of baby is the dominant vibration that they've got going on. And so, because their experience keeps giving them absence of baby, and now it's completely in their vibration, because they'd have to be fools not to believe it, because there's no baby. They believe it. In other words, they believe what they see, and so they keep offering a vibration about it, and so then they give up and they adopt a baby. Now there's no more absence of baby, and first thing you know, she gets pregnant. because the vibration changed. But we don't really encourage that story as any success in terms of understanding creation, because in both cases she was needing reality to shift in some way so that she could observe an improved reality, because she lets reality control her vibration. We want you as a deliberate creator to understand that the power of your mind, the power of your focus, the power of your ability to know how you feel. If you could hear us when we say, you've put that little boy into your vortex, but you don't vibrate with that little boy, you vibrate with these little girls.
Right.
And we know you adore them and you wouldn't change a bit of that,
no.
But the frequency is different, you see. And so, and what most people do, and this will say so much to so many of you, you're afraid to really invest yourself in the idea of a little boy, for fear you will be disappointed when it doesn't happen again. So you don't even let yourself go there. You so don't believe in the power of your own mind. You so don't believe in... We got to tell you, this vortex where all cooperative components are, we think sperm and egg can comply. You see what we're getting at? In other words, if you could even fathom the orchestration that goes on around law of attraction, you would never doubt your ability to be or do or have anything, you see.
My husband isn't a cooperative component of of me wanting another child, be it a boy or a girl. And to a certain extent, he's slightly negotiable, but but I don't, want to do that with someone else. So how do I train him into my vibration? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we're not kidding. We're not kidding. In other words, here are a series of things for you to focus upon. First of all, when you're in the vortex, you are more powerful than millions who are not. Your power of influence is huge. So let's say that there are two people who want what seems to be entirely different things. In other words, you want a baby and he doesn't, or anything. It could be any subject. You're in disagreement about what you want. So if you would focus upon what you want and bring yourself into alignment with that idea, the universe would yield it to you. If he would focus upon what he wants and come into alignment with, the universe would yield it. But what happens is, you look at him, so your vibration isn't pure. He looks at you, so his vibration isn't pure. So you've both got scrambled vibrations, so neither one of you are really getting what you want. In other words, the reason that he does not want another try at another baby is because he doesn't want disappointment, which means he wants satisfaction. He doesn't want your disappointment, which means he wants you to be happy. He doesn't want more struggle. He doesn't want more debt. He doesn't want, in other words, there are a lot of things that make him say that he doesn't want that. But we want to say to you, he's put way more into his vortex that is in perfect alignment with that little boy than he is struggling against. In other words, he's more in alignment with you than you or he knows on this subject. But you can't factor in. If you try to factor in other co-creators, you don't remain pure in your vibration. But then you haven't been very pure in your vibration so far about any of this. Most people aren't, because you've been letting reality train your expectation. We're having a really good conversation here. Are you following this? In other words, when you stop letting reality train your expectation, all things are possible. Things that are not normal are possible. Someone talked earlier about, this vortex, it feels so big. And we say, if it doesn't feel like the next logical step, then it isn't going to manifest. You have to accept the reality of this vibrational reality. And you have to go there because it feels good to go there, not because you're trying to make something happen because you go there. You hear the difference? Because if you go to the vortex in order to make something happen, the thing that hasn't happened will keep you from going to the vortex. It's a catch-22. You can't get there. I'll go to the vortex because if I go to the vortex, then this thing that hasn't been happening, I'll be able to overcome it. The vortex spits you out. I'm going to go to the vortex so that I can make this thing that hasn't been happening happen. The vortex spits you out. You got to go to the vortex for another reason. You got to go to the vortex because that's where clarity is, and that's where fun is, and that's where the larger part of you is, and that's where love is, and that's who you are. You go to the vortex for the feeling of the vortex, for the feeling of oneness, for the feeling of having a little boy, for the feeling of it, the exhilarating journey, for the feeling of getting to raise a little boy, for the feeling of getting to co-create. You can feel this energy coming to you. You're not ready to let it go. In other words, we've had dozens of conversations with dozens of people about this very subject, and never have we felt the energy in a vortex about a little boy as powerfully as we feel this energy. In other words, it's a done deal. That's what keeps calling you. It's already done, and it's already there, you see. It's already there. And when he gets here, he'll say to all of his little sisters, if I hadn't waited until last, you two wouldn't be here. Don't tell any of this to your husband.
I know. I feel that energy. So, I'm just wait and see how it all unfolds. But